Okay, so I just started up my code, and we are just going to try to take 85 south and maybe go down to an exit and try to drift a little bit to the left and right and see if we can get this to trigger. There are a whole bunch of thresholds, so there's some amount of sensitivity in terms of whether you want to trigger too soon, too quickly, trigger during the city rides, or that you need to have sufficient evidence for it to basically raise the alarm. So we're just going to try to see, and I've made it a little conservative so that it doesn't keep beeping during the city drives or when I'm switching lanes and so on. So 85 south is up ahead, so we're just going to take the highway. This piece of wire is basically just connected to the webcam. It's mounted with a piece of scotch tape, one piece of scotch tape, so it's not really a sturdy mount, and it's not like it's calibrated for detecting deviations on the lanes. So obviously it's a weekend hack, it's not really like a production ready system. So this is what I mean by it not triggering when we switch lanes. It's kind of nice, although if you wanted another hack, you could actually even detect the frequency of my turn signal, and there are two frequencies actually, it looks like, so you can detect it. So take all the sound, do a Fourier transform, detect those two frequencies, and so if the turn signal's on, basically don't raise the alarm, and if the turn signal's off, kind of raise the alarm. I did a different one which just set these thresholds to be high enough so that it doesn't raise it. So we're just going to try to drift a little bit to the left side. So that was it, detecting that I'm drifting to the left side. So I'm just going to switch lanes so I don't run into traffic. So that was basically it, raising the alarm for a left side drift. Now without banging into these guys, let me see if I can get myself to drift a little to the right side. So you sort of heard that. So it's a different frequency obviously, and let me try to see if I can keep doing it. So it's a very different frequency when you drift right as opposed to drifting left. And in fact you can play anything you want. I mean, I could just record my own voice and just play drifting left or drifting right. But let's try, maybe if we have, I guess the next exit is just up front, but that was drifting to the left side, of course. You might be able to see it. Let's switch lanes just to show that it kind of doesn't really pick it up when you switch lanes, just when you drift. So that's the nice thing about it. So that's pretty much it. So we're just going to take the next exit and get out of here. Let's now see how the computer saw the drive. So we are currently on Evelyn, so we are going to go straight and take a right into 85 south. And the solid white lines that you see are basically computer's estimation of the lane. So if you go back to the previous video, you'll actually see that the white lines sometimes aren't as clear. So it's actually and it's not perfect time of the day. It was Sunday evening, and and there are obviously issues with it extracting the lines. But the solid lines basically indicates its estimate, so you can see that it does a fairly good job right now. So we're just going to go through the drive. So that's basically it, driving, and obviously we take a slight curve, and then we go into the entrance to the highway. I've cut the top part of the image because obviously you don't want it to influence the decision that the computer is making. So there is actually a horizon, and there is actually things that happen beyond a certain height, but to help with the estimations, it's obviously easier if they get excluded. So this is us entering into the highway. This is the same drive that you saw. So that was us switching the lanes and merging into the highway actually. And we Try straight. So as you can see, the estimation is not too bad. So there we switched the lane again, I think. And you can see that, in general, the image quality is actually not good. So look at the lane to the left of where we are, and try to see if you can even pick out the lane markers. So that's the quality of the images that we're getting from the webcam. So it's actually pretty admirable that it's even doing as good in detection as it is. So we basically drive straight, and we switch lanes there again. And here's where I did a little bit of, I went to the left a little bit to try to get it to alert me. And then that's when I was trying to go to the right, and it alert me. So it looks as though my hood is to the right of the line, but I never actually crossed the line, I think. So I think it's just a little bit of parallax from the viewing angle. Because from a driver's perspective, always it will look as though the divider is over the hood, but obviously you're actually still on your lane. You're just closer towards the right end of the lane. So this is where it alerted on the right. So we kept that going for a little while, and then we came back to let it alert on the left side for a little bit. So that's us taking a curve, and that's when I think we were alerting on the left side, and back again, and I think right after that we switched lanes, and we just took the exit to Fremont Avenue. So pretty straightforward, and almost perfect accuracy in terms of it picking out the lanes. So I don't think I could have asked for more. So that's us taking the exit, and yeah. So basically, that's what the computer saw and what the computer's estimate was.